What is going on, you guys? Welcome back. I'm calling this Find Your Struggle because I had this beautiful conversation with a good friend of mine this week, and he told a story that really impacted me. When he finished telling it, I was just like, wow, this is so good. And because I thought it was so good, I wanted to share it with you in the event that you might feel the same. But first, if you're new here, who am I? My name is Ryan Rice. I am a full-time real estate investor. I'm in my 5th year investing full-time after leaving a 14-year Fortune 30 career. Last year, we did 7 figures, and I make all this with the hopes that it helps you. So this story actually came from Greek mythology, which, by the way, I don't know anything about Greek mythology. It's not necessarily, something that I'm passionately interested in. But that's where the story is from. So Zeus abducted the nymph Aegina. And by the way, this story is about the story of Sisyphus. And the story of Sisyphus is what really intrigues me. So Zeus abducted the nymph Aegina. And when Sisyphus learned this, he told Asopus, which, by the way, the pronunciations I'm clueless on, so bear with me. But Sisyphus told Asopus, who is the river god and Aegina's father, where she was. So obviously Zeus was pissed because Sisyphus ratted on him. Well, when Zeus discovered what Sisyphus had done, he sent Thanatos, who is the god of death, to chain Sisyphus in the underworld in an attempt to kill him. Well, when Thanatos got to Sisyphus, Sisyphus actually outwitted Thanatos and chained him instead. And so now, with Thanatos, who again was the god of death, bound, no one on earth could die. And this disruption infuriated a lot of people, but mostly it infuriated Ares, who is the god of war, because without death, well, war had no purpose, and therefore Ares was irrelevant. And so in response, Ares freed Thanatos to restore the natural order so people could live and die as they were supposed to. Well, Sisyphus would later cheat death a second time, but eventually he grew old and he died. And when Sisyphus arrived at the underworld, Zeus, who was enraged by his repeated defiance of all of the different gods, sentenced him to an eternal punishment, which was to roll a massive boulder up a mountain, and each time the boulder neared the top of the mountain, it would then roll back down, forcing Sisyphus to start over in an endless cycle that would continue for all of eternity. And so my friend told me this story, and then it was what he said next that really got to me. And he said, I always thought that what if Sisyphus, who was known for outsmarting and outwitting all of the other gods, actually tricked Zeus into giving him the punishment so that Sisyphus could live the rest of his afterlife in meaning, because Sisyphus valued the work itself more than anything else. And when he told me this, my mind was like blown. And I think the reason this impacted me so much is because, one, it just seemed like a logical progression of the story of Sisyphus, who his entire life was outwitting other gods. And now, what if in the very last moment he, manipulated all of them into giving Sisyphus the life that he actually wanted, which was, just to be immersed in futile work. And I found that very meaningful because I have personally discovered that true fulfillment for me comes in the act of working really hard and finding my struggle. And when I reflect on the days that I enjoy most, they usually have the following elements. I eat food with people I love. I spend time moving my body. I am able to share a lesson that I've had the privilege of learning with my girls. And there was some sort of challenge or struggle that I overcame. And I can look back at the day and I can honestly say, you know what? I left nothing in the tank that day. I gave it everything I had. And if those are the days that when I reflect on which days I enjoy most, if those are the days I enjoy most, and they involve a significant challenge or a significant struggle, then I need to string as many of those days together in my life. And does that mean, for example, that I would get meaning in, something as simple as rolling a rock up a hill, letting it fall back down, and rolling it back up? I have decided that my purpose in life is to learn. And in order to learn, well, I have to endure struggle. And the more struggle that I endure, well, the more I'm going to learn and the more fulfillment I'm going to have. And so as I think about this, how do I translate this into something that would, for example, help my 20-year-old self or might help anyone out there who's listening? What I would tell my 20-year-old self is, honestly, it doesn't matter what you do. You don't need to be overly analytical in choosing what is going to be the perfect thing, because no one ends up doing what they choose to do first for the rest of their life. But you just want to pick something and then just make your sole purpose to learn. Forget status, forget what other people care or what other people might say or what you think other people might be saying about you when in reality they just don't care. But find your struggle and leave absolutely nothing in the tank. And then find people who, instead of talking about other people or stupid gossip, but find people who talk about big ideas and people who talk about wanting to move the world forward in some fashion, and spend as much time with them as you can. And then repeat those days. Have as many of them as you possibly can. And so if you're out there listening and you're in this period of struggle, and maybe you're going through something really hard, and maybe you don't know when it will end, and it feels incredibly painful, just know that maybe you're exactly where it is that you need to be. Because to become the person who you want to become, you must endure the struggle that you're currently in. And all you need to know is that you may not know when it actually ends, but all you need to know is that if you don't stop, it will end. And the person you are on the other side is going to thank you for not giving up and for getting through the struggle that you are currently in. So this was a super short, I just wanted to tell that quick story. I found it really impactful. And if you know someone who's going through something hard right now and you feel like that story might help, well, send this to them. That is one way that this podcast grows, and that helps validate that me shouting into the camera that's in front of me is useful for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that, and apologize for getting overly philosophical on this one. But man, that conversation I had just really, really got to me, and so I wanted to share it with you. But I'll see you on the next one. Peace.